So, okay. So good afternoon, everyone. This is the final meeting of all of us in one room across our wonderful nation before we start the convention next week. So we're going to run through the schedule. We're going to run through the answer sheets, and we are going to talk about the in-person day by day, and we're going to talk about the online competing schools day by day. So what my plan is to talk about in-person from day one to the end, and then talk about online from day one to the end, so there's no confusion. So I'm going to start with in-person first and then proceed to the online only schools. So at this point, Chalk Talk finals are established. The judges have been set up. The students have been made aware. That, of course, is up to the sponsors to email their students their judging sheets and to also send them the schedule so that they know what time Eastern Standard Time they are to go on to the Zoom meeting, which was part of the schedule. So the Zoom link is there for the students to access at their specific time, Eastern Standard Time. So for those of you who live in other parts of the country, please adjust and let your students know the adjusted time so that they don't show up and no one's there. So we do need them to be showing up at the exact time that is on the schedule. So for example, if they're scheduled to be from 5:30 to 5:45, we really need them to be on Zoom at 5:30 so that they can be comfortable, get into the meeting, do their 7-minute presentation, and then leave the meeting immediately so that the next student at 5:45 to 6 can begin their talk without any time issues. That is our main concern. We don't want to be falling behind with the schedule because the students have been told to show up at their exact times. For those schools who do have Chalk Talk finalists, the key thing you want to tell your students that I didn't mention in the email, this is live, just like we're doing right now. So if they make a mistake, if they mess up, they've got to balance themselves during the talk in that moment and then move forward. There is no do-overs with the finals. It is a 7-minute talk once they begin. So they just need to be aware of that it's a different animal than when they taped it. I don't know how many times kids taped or practiced, but this is a live 7-minute talk straight through. So they need to just be aware of that. Okay, so I am going to share my screen. And first thing I want to share is the remind information and the address for the in-person addresses. So you should see a Word file on the screen, and at the top of the Word file starts with Kim Wolfenden. So from Kim Wolfenden down to 32608, this is the address where the in-school competitors will be mailing their envelopes. So it is very important in-school competitors. I'm going to email this address and the remind information immediately after this meeting to everyone. But this address is crucial because this is where you're sending your envelope of materials on Thursday morning via FedEx, UPS, priority mail, doing it very fast so that we get the results. So this is for in-school only. You will mail all of your answer sheets to this address, starting with Kim Wolfenden, going to 32608. Again, priority mail, overnight mail, FedEx, UPS, we'll get to that in the schedule on Thursday. Below that, it says Remind Group. For those of you who are unaware of Remind, basically it's a text system where I can text everybody right away. And more importantly, you can text me immediately if you have a concern on the days of the competition. So what I need sponsors to do, if you have your cell phones, is to get out your cell phone and go to the text capability. Basically, you're going to send a text. The phone number that you're sending it to is 81010. Those are all numbers, 81010. So you're sending it to. And then in the message part of the text, you need to put the @ symbol @9CAHA2 and just hit send. So the phone number 81010, in the message, the @9CAHA2, and that will make you part of the national convention group so that you will get texts if there is something that comes up for the entire group that needs to be made aware immediately. I will send it via this Remind application. More importantly, if you need to get in contact with me during the competition days immediately, this is the way to do it. You will just send a text and it will come to me. And I will respond to it much faster than an email because I won't be checking my email constantly throughout the 2 days, but a text will pop up on my phone immediately for me to respond to. So we have the address and we have the remind how to set that up. So again, I will be putting this information out in an email directly after this meeting, just for you have it written down and saved for the next 2 weeks. Okay, so let me stop that. And let me share the schedule. And again, we're talking about in person first. So we have on our screen, we should have a schedule starting with day 1, July 12th. We have the opening ceremony at 2 o'clock. Again, it is at 2 o'clock on the schedule. My plan, once it is done, it is going to be taped in advance. Once it is taped and I've uploaded the YouTube link, I will email everyone who is part of the convention that it's available for you and your students to view. So in theory, it's going to go off at 2 o'clock. My plan is obviously to have it ready before 2 o'clock so that if you wanted to watch it with your students in the virtual world, you could certainly do that. But as soon as it's ready, it's going to be sent to you. My plan is to have it sent to you way before 2 o'clock on July 12th, which is a Monday, next Monday. The Chalk Talk finals are from 5 to 8. The only people involved with that are the judges and the finalists. That's it. This is not an event where students of the person or even the sponsors of the students involved are going to attend. We just want the judges to be there. We want the students to show up in 15-minute intervals, do their talks, and move on with their evening. We are going to be taping these 3 finals. And then again, I will be putting those links up as soon as they are ready for your schools and students to view whenever you like during the rest of the week. The main reason we don't want to have them live is technical difficulties. We don't want this to be an issue for the students. They're going to be nervous enough as it is doing their talks. So we want to keep the attendance to a minimum. Again, we will be taping all 3 of these for you to watch later in the week. So we go into day 2, Tuesday, July 13th. All of these times that you see are Eastern Standard Time. Again, for those of you in other parts of the country, please adjust your calendars accordingly. Please let your students be aware of these times, depending where you're living in America. So day 2, 2 p.m., topic 1, 3:30, ciphering, 6 p.m., bowl, team round. So the main thing I want you guys to focus on today is your jobs as in-person sponsors, what your responsibilities are with your students for each of these events. Now you see on day 3, those 3 events are all in similar fashion to topic 1. So we really have 4 tests that are very similar in what you are going to do as a teacher with your students in the room. So we're going to talk about that all in one fell swoop. Then we'll talk about ciphering. Then we'll talk about bowl. So let me go to stop this and let me go to the answer sheets. So that we can see what we're talking about here. Okay, so first thing is topic 1, 2 o'clock on the 13th, 2 o'clock on the 13th, sorry. So the main thing you need to do as sponsors in the next few days, all of you should have been sent the tests via a drive last night. So for all of you in-school competitors and schools, we need to be copying everything, the tests, the answer sheets, the directions, most importantly, your ID numbers for your school. The ID numbers as part of the drive are most important. John Doe needs to know his number for all of these answer sheets that he is going to do over the 2 days. So this answer sheet that you're staring at is the answer sheet you're going to use for topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, and for the individual test. So with this answer sheet, the main things the student needs to do, they need to write their name clearly in the name label, school in the school label, test in the test label. So if they're doing alpha complex numbers, that's exactly what they need to write in the test line. Neatly, specifically. They need to write their ID number in all 9 boxes. They need to bubble all 9 bubbles. Down here, it says test code in the bottom left-hand corner. There's going to be a 3-digit test code on the cover of the test. They need to put that code in the 3 boxes and bubble those as well. Then you will see the answer lines here from 1 to 30 on the answer sheet. And so obviously at that point, they need to bubble what they believe is correct. Now, one thing for those of you who are not familiar with the Florida answer sheet, you will see at the end, it looks like a dot in the box at the very end of every line. If a student says, okay, number 1 is D, but I don't want it to be D, I want it to be blank, then you would fill in this dot. That's the only reason you would fill in this dot, is if you filled something in and you don't believe that anymore, you would fill in the dot to indicate to the scoring program, I want to leave it blank. I want to leave it blank. That's the only reason you would use the dot. So the students need to be aware of what that dot represents. Otherwise, obviously, they fill in the letter very darkly if the letter they feel is correct for every question. Oh, let me go back here. I've got some questions on the chat. So how do I get back up? Here we go.
Are we registered for this CMU virtual summer welcome event?
Whoever was speaking, I didn't hear that clearly. Okay. I will be sending the link for the opening ceremony to everybody on the email list. There are some schools that requested multiple sponsors. Everyone who has requested to be on the list will get the opening ceremony link. The theme for poster will be announced during the opening ceremony. I am unaware of that theme. I would tell you right now, but I don't know what it is. So we'll find out on Monday, the 12th. Okay, and that's all we've got so far. Okay, so the most important thing for your students with this answer sheet, which they're going to do 4 times, topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, and individual. Their name, their school, the test, their ID number, and bubble, the test code, and bubble their answers. Very, very, very darkly. Good pencils. Dark, 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 dark. Because when you mail it, we're not going to be able to fix answer sheets once they get to the scoring room. So they need to be dark. And you as a sponsor can certainly see those. Once the students turn them in, you can see if the student didn't bubble dark enough. And tell the student, please go back and just dark, dark, dark. We want them to be easily read by the system. We don't want to have any scoring issues because a student didn't bubble dark enough. That's the number 1 priority for the student with these 4 competitions. Dark bubbling. Clear writing on the 3 lines and dark bubbling for the rest of the answer sheet. Are there any questions at this time about this answer sheet that you are seeing? Again, this is the answer sheet for topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, and the individual test. Okay, so now we are going to, I'm just not a Zoom person. I got to get better at Zoom. Okay, so we're going back to the answer sheet choices, and I want to show you a ciphering answer sheet. And we are now going to share the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so for the ciphering event, you will have some students in Theta, you will have some students in Alpha, you will have some students in Mu. So it's very important to print the answer sheets by division for your students, and to make sure that an alpha student gets alpha answer sheets, theta with theta, mu with mu. Because obviously, once they get sent to the scoring address, they're going to be separated by division. You want to make sure that the student is doing the proper answer sheets. Now, the reason I'm showing you this answer sheet is because you as a sponsor have work to do during the ciphering event. Very important work for the scoring situation. So where it says name, ID, and school, the student will fill that in. They will do that before the competition begins. So all they have to do once a question is started is put the answer in the box and put the paper up in the air so that you as a sponsor know that student wants to turn it in. You as a sponsor on every answer sheet for every question need to either circle the 1, the 2, or the 3 that you see on the screen. That indicates the minute that they turned it in. So question 1 begins, a student puts it in the air, you take that piece of paper from the student, you would circle the 1 because they turned it in the first minute. If they turned it in the second minute, you would circle the 2. Third minute, you would circle the 3. So it's very important, you as the sponsor, you collect the papers by minute, and then you circle the minute that you collected them for every piece of paper that you just collected. So it's very important, you as a sponsor, every piece of paper for ciphering needs to have a minute circled. That's the only way the scoring people know what minute the question was turned in. We don't know, we're not there. They're only going to get the material sent to them via the postal system. So it's very important that you as a sponsor circle the minute the student turned in the question for every question that is turned in. Now, if a student doesn't turn it in, you don't need to mail that piece of paper because they didn't get it right. They didn't turn it in. You don't know what the answers are. So you can't assume, oh, these are right, these are wrong. You can't assume that you don't know what the answers are at that point once the competition is going. Your only job is to circle the minute that the student gives you the answer sheet. Also, as the sponsor, your job is to make sure that name, ID, and school are filled out before you send them in the mail so that when they get to us, we can accurately give the student the score they deserve. Okay? But that's a job you have to do as a sponsor. So while you're doing the timing, how you want to set up the room at your school is up to you. If you want to have multiple sponsors helping you, that's fine. Just let them know that they need to collect the paper and circle the minute for the student. Any questions about ciphering? Okay, so I'm going to stop this one. We have some questions in the chat. Can we use different colored paper? You certainly can, but most schools don't have access to different colored paper. So do what you'd like. Some schools are just going to have white paper. If you'd like to use colors to make your life easier, that's fine. However you'd like to do it. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the bowl answer sheets. Because again, you as sponsors have a job to do as you collect those papers. All right, so you should be staring at a bowl answer sheet. Again, you want your theta team to have the theta answer sheets, alpha with alpha, mu with mu. Again, they're going to put their school. Their ID is the first 4 digits of their ID number, first 4 digits. So they should know it from topic 1, what their ID number was. Everybody's first 4 digits should be the same for every school. And that's what we're going to have. But most importantly, obviously, is school name in full. Like we have a couple American Heritages out there. We may have a couple schools out there with in the same city. So we just need to make sure the full school name is written in the school line. It's the most important thing. Again, the team will put the answer sheet in the air. You will collect it. You will circle the minute that they gave it to you. Minute 1, minute 2, minute 3, minute 4. Now, as you saw with the ciphering and with the bowl examples on the screen, you saw question 0. Question 0 is a practice question. It's a practice for you. It's practice for them to get used to what they're going to do in that 30-minute period, 60-minute period with the questions. So question 0 does not count. It's a practice question. Treat it like a real question. Run through the process. Make sure everybody's good on both ends of the spectrum, because once question 1 begins, those count. So we need to make sure with question 0, all the kinks are worked out at the individual school level. Question 0 is a practice question. Question 1 to 12 are for real as we compete in each of these contests. So for sponsors, 4 of the tests, you're going to give the student an answer sheet. They're going to do the answer sheet. They're going to turn in the answer sheet. It's your job to check name, school, ID, and most importantly, dark bubbling. With these answer sheets, you're going to be working as they go. So the main thing sponsors need to do, again, is circle the minute for ciphering, circle the minute for bold. Any questions right now? Okay, so we are now going to go back to the schedule. And we should see the schedule right now. Again, on July 13th, Tuesday, 2 o'clock, topic 1, 3:30, ciphering, 6 p.m., bold, Eastern Standard Times. Day 3, 2 o'clock, topic 2 test, 3:30, individual test, 6 p.m., topic 3 test. After each event is done, what you should do as a sponsor is organize the answer sheets. For the 4 tests where they sit and take a test for an hour, organize them by type of test. So if 3 kids are taking complex numbers, put the complex number answer sheets together. That way it's easy for the scoring people, once they get that envelope, to just make piles. They're going to be organizing lots of paper at the scoring location anyway, but as organized as you can be would make it a faster process for them. So if you can, organize the answer sheets for each of the 4 tests that you're going to have. For ciphering, you're going to have some theta, you're going to have some alpha, you're going to have some mu. What you need to do there, organize the thetas from 0 through 12, organize the alphas from 0 through 12, organize the mu's from 0 through 12. Have a theta pile, have an alpha pile, have a mu pile. Again, it makes it easier for the scorers if all the zeros are together, followed by the 1s, followed by the 2s. Of course, they're going to be separating the paper once it comes out of the envelope. But again, we want to make it as easy as we can for them. For the teams, you're going to have 3 teams: theta, alpha, mu. So you're going to have 3 piles: theta 0 through 12, alpha 0 through 12, mu 0 through 12. Again, organized and ready to be mailed. So once you're done, you're going to have 4 piles of standard sheet paper. You're going to have a pile of small papers for ciphering, and you're going to have a pile of rectangular papers for bold. And so obviously you want to put those into the envelope in where I would put all of the paper on the bottom, then the rectangular ones on top of the paper, then the small ones on top, so it builds like a house. Put it neatly into that envelope and be ready for that envelope to get mailed. Everything's going to go in one big envelope. Now, as you can see, it doesn't end until about 7 o'clock on July 14th, which is a Wednesday. We do not expect you to run to a FedEx or a UPS and mail it Wednesday night, because most won't be open across the country. So what you need to do first thing on Thursday the 15th, when you wake up, is go to one of these locations and mail that envelope. And we want to mail it overnight, if possible, or 2-day at the very latest. Because in order for us to score everything, it's got to arrive at the address. We can't score everything until everything has arrived. Now, we had our Florida State Convention in April. We did it by the same process. We had overnight with FedEx or UPS, and everybody did their job at the local level. But of course, FedEx fumbled the ball, and we were delayed. So we can't prevent FedEx, UPS mistakes. What we can do is wake up Thursday morning, go to the location, mail it overnight, mail it 2-day mail, and get it on its way. That's all we can do. You definitely want to get a receipt from the company indicating you have mailed it so that we see the day and the time on the receipt. just so if school X were wondering where your answers are, you will have proof. I gave it to them and I put it in the mail. After that, it's on the company to do their job. So we need to do that early on Thursday, July 15th, because later that day, the answers are going to be posted for all of the events. So that will be at a time, I think it's going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday, July 15th. All of the answers will be posted. At that point, the dispute window will open. For those of us who aren't from Florida, you are going to be sent a link, a web link, and your students are to use that web link to fill out any and all disputes that they had from the 2-day competition. So a student may have a lot of disputes. That's fine. They're going to have to go to the link. They're going to have to fill out the link and hit submit, and do that every time they have a dispute about a question from the competition. So we're going to give 24 hours to do that. So say 2 p.m. July 15th to 2 p.m. July 16th, this link will be open. So once the answers are posted, they'll be sent out to all the schools. The link for the disputes will be sent out to all the schools at that same time. Go, go, go. So again, we're anticipating 2 p.m. July 15th. So obviously you want to be reading your emails about 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, July 15th, so you can get that information, forward that email to the students so they can get to work. And again, obviously from the 13th and 14th, they need to keep all of their answers. So every answer they have from the 4 tests that they took, from ciphering, from bowl, they need to have a complete list of what they answered on their answer sheets, so that when they get the answers, then they have an opportunity to dispute, because they will have all the questions, because of course these are all in person. So they will have all the questions in front of them to dispute. They will know what they put on their answer sheet to dispute. They can get to work. So after 2 p.m. on July 16th, the dispute window will close. The dispute people will get to work. The scores will come in via the wonderful postal systems, and the scoring people will get to work on running all of those Scantrons and grading the ciphering and the bowl answer sheets, so that we can get those award ceremonies ready and done for you, hopefully on the 20th for the online group and the 22nd for the in-person group. Again, these dates are not in stone. If one school is delayed with the mailing systems, we got to wait. So we will let you know via email, via remind, when these dates are going to occur. But right now, online, the 20th, in person, the 22nd, are what we currently have. If there's going to be a change, you will hear about it from me, because I'm the one doing both ceremonies. I will certainly let you know if there is going to be a change with these dates as we move forward. Are there any questions in any way? I have a couple in the chat, so let me address those. But for those of you who have questions, let's get those ready for in person. If we have an associate member, do they get an ID number? I don't see one on the roster online. I think they have to be a full member in order to compete in the national convention. That is a Jennifer question. Jennifer?
Hey, okay, so associates can participate, but are you talking about well, okay, are you online or in person, Jennifer?
In person.
In person. Okay, so you should have received the full roster with all the participants on it, that would have shown all of your kids' ID numbers to use. So it's not going to be something you're finding in the login portion of our website. It would have been an email.
Okay, I'll look for that. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, just let us know if you didn't get it.
Okay.
So also, online people, the kids will not get an ID number. They're going to just write in their name and school on their answer sheets.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just got an email from our scoring, or from our test person. So this is very important. So for everyone who is doing Mu Bowl, which I would assume is most of you, in-person Mu Bowl Don't print them. Now, if you printed them already, basically you're going to put them in a recycle bin because they are not usable. Don't smile, Bradley. It's not funny. So
I'm the one
Mule-
who told Z-Way that.
Oh, well, there you go. So Mew Bowl, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be sent to you again. And I will let you know when it's good to print them, because what he's going to do is probably just put it on the drive. You will then see it on the drive in its adjusted form. So Mew Bowl, ladies and gentlemen, if you printed it, basically recycle it. Don't use it. As soon as it's ready, he will tell me, I will tell you, and you can print that version of Mew Bowl. But the current version of Mew Bowl is wrong. Okay. Did we already discuss the bowl? If so, my apologies. Bowl is up to you as the sponsor to pick the 4 people to be on your bowl team, because you are not going to know who your top 4 people are at the moment bowl occurs, because it's on the first day. So you will have 4 people in Theta, 4 people in Alpha, 4 people in Mu. You determine who they are. Those are the 4 people who are going to sit together and work the questions. You, as the sponsor, determine who those people are. So whoever you want them to be is who they're going to be for this year. Usually, the competition determines who the people are, not this year. You, as the sponsor, make that choice for who the 4 people are in each team group. Okay.
Rob, I have a question on that.
I don't answer questions. Yes, Randy?
Hey, can we put, can we switch at like the halfway mark and put different people in the bowl?
No.
Okay.
No. No. The 4 people who are on question 0 are on question 0 through 12.
Okay.
You don't get to sub in halfway through if you don't like how someone is doing.
No, I just wanted to get people to participate. That's all. That's all.
Yeah, because we don't do that in standard situations. So the 4 people are the 4 people throughout the entire experience of bowl. Any other questions for in person? Okay. Do all alphas work together and fill out one answer sheet? For bowl, they do. The 4 people, yes. The 4 people for alpha, theta, and mu work together and turn in one answer sheet as a collective group to the sponsor. So they're going to put one piece of paper in the air for every question they do. So it's, if you have all 3 teams, you're going to have 3 papers per question. Everything is mailed, nothing is scanned. Everything is mailed, nothing is scanned. For in person, everything goes in an envelope. So that's why, again, sponsors, it's so important right now for you to be printing except Mubile, everything that you need for next week, so that you have everything ready and you can organize everything for Tuesday in a big folder and Wednesday in a big folder this week, so that you have a relaxing 2 days next week when the kids are in front of you. You do not want to have to be doing things last minute. So we just want to print everything. We want to print the answer sheets. We want to print the tests. We want to print the directions. We have given you directions in the drive for the individual, for the topic test, for the bowl, and for the ciphering. So it's just something for you to read to the students before you begin, the general rules of the event. Everybody gets comfortable with what is about to occur, and then it begins. For ciphering, yes, for ciphering, I want them organized by division from 0 through 12. So a theta pile 0 through 12, an alpha pile 0 through 12, and a mu pile 0 through 12 would be appreciated for the scoring people. If we said we're not participating in poster and the kids change their mind, is it too late to participate? I would say it's fine as long as you get a poster board if you're doing poster board. If you're doing an online version of poster, then you just need to work. I don't see that as a concern. You're just gonna, because you're going to email your poster by 2 p.m. on July 15th. So I don't
Can I
see that.
Do you mind if I just ask a verbal question here?
Sure.
So you said we're going to email the poster by 2 p.m. Are you saying we'll take a picture of it if we make a physical hard copy poster? Or
ma'am.
if we're doing it online, then obviously we'll just be submitting that file. Is that correct?
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
So you just want, I mean, camera phones are good, but obviously you want to take a good picture of the poster if you're going to do it on poster board.
Yes.
But yes,
Okay. Thank you.
you're welcome. Any other in-person questions? Okay, so we are going to go back to the schedule, and now we are talking about it from an online school participation only perspective. Get it on the right page here. Jennifer, yes, Jennifer already did that, okay. On the chat, ladies and gentlemen, the email is there for where you send the posters. You send it basically to the national office. And then they will collect all of the images to send to the poster judging people who will judge them across the country. Okay, so now we are going to the online school only. So for in-person, you're just sitting back and relaxing for the next few minutes. The next conversation is for the online schools only. So here's your schedule for online. First day is the same. Opening ceremony at 2 p.m. Chalk Talk finals 5 to 8 p.m. Again, those schedules have already been sent out to the finalists. Sponsors are aware. Sponsors tell the students. Students are aware. That's next Monday, 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the difference here in the schedule for day 2 and day 3, all of the tests, ladies and gentlemen, are 30 minutes past the in-person schedule. They occur 30 minutes after the in-person begins so that everyone's working on it across the country, no matter which version they have. For the online people, you will be sent Google Forms by the national office for your students to fill out for each of their 4 tests, topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, individual. You will be sent Google Forms. You will be sent Google Forms for bowl. You will be sent Google Forms for ciphering. So you are going to get a lot of Google Forms from the national office that you are then going to send to your students for them to use for the appropriate test on the appropriate day and time. Those are their answer sheets. So those Google Forms are very important for you to get to your students when you receive them. The tests themselves that the students will work on will be put on the national website 10 minutes before each of these competitions. So for example, 2:30, topic 1 is supposed to begin. They will be put on the website at 2:20 for the students to access. The student will then access the particular test that they're taking. They will input their answers into the Google form they were given by the sponsor. They will hit submit, and their results will go to the national office. So obviously for topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, and individual, they will be putting their name, their school name, and a lot of letters of the alphabet from A to E, indicating that letter for that particular number. If they leave it blank, obviously they don't want to answer that question for each of the 4, topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, individual. For ciphering, obviously, they will be using the Google form to put their answer in for each question. And for bowl, they'll be using the Google form to put their answer in as a team. So they're only going to need to do it once for team. They don't need to do it 4 times. They only need to do it once for each team, theta, alpha, mu. Now, there were some concerns with how are we going to worry about minutes. So this is for the online people only, not in person. In person, you have your system. We've talked about it. Online schools only for ciphering and for bowl. We are going to do it very simply, ladies and gentlemen. It's either going to be correct or it's going to be incorrect. We're not worrying about minute for ciphering and for bowl. It's too much concern for everyone involved, given the systems that we have. So we are going simply for ciphering and bold for online people only, correct or incorrect. That is how we are going to play it. So the students don't need, now, obviously the system is going to determine, did they spend more than 3 minutes on a ciphering question? Did they spend more than 4 minutes on a bold question? Because of course, we're not going to let a school have 20 minutes to do a question and turn it in and get the points. But it's going to be from a correct, incorrect perspective only due to the issues that we have with the systems that we are using. So for ciphering and bold, correct or incorrect. So online people, you don't have anything to mail because everything's done online. So after 6:30, 7:30, 6:30 at 7:30 on July 14th, your responsibilities are done for submitting all of the test material. You still have poster on July 15th. Let me move that down a little bit. If your school is participating in poster, you still have poster due at 2 o'clock on July 15th. And again, answers are going to be sent out for everybody at that time, 2 p.m. Eastern time on July 15th. Students have 24 hours to dispute until 2 p.m. on July 16th, whether they are in person or online. Everyone's going to have that 24-hour window to do their disputes. Again, everything will be tabulated. Online awards, again, are scheduled for the 20th. In-person is scheduled for the 22nd. These dates are to be determined right now. They are established, but they are not in stone. We will let you know through email and remind if there are any changes with award ceremony days or times. See if there's any chat questions. There are not.
Rob, can I ask a clarifying question?
Sure.
So just so to make sure I have this correct, you are going to email us links to Google Forms for all of the participants that we are going to send out to them. And then they are going to log in 10 minutes prior to the test starting to access the test. Is that accurate?
Yes, the test should be on the national website.
Okay.
And the Google form is just, it's a typical Google form. So they will fill out their name and their school. And then once the test begins, then they have an hour to work on it. And that test should be accessible via the national website. Just to make clear, the national office is going to be sending all of these Google links, not Rob Snow.
Correct.
So I'm basically, for all concerned, in person and online, I am the middleman between the national office and the people behind the scenes with the tests themselves. So I'm basically the one you go to, and then I go to the people who are needed, if necessary, those couple of days next week. But I am not all I'm sending is information that I hear from the national office, or for example, from the test writing people about Mubel. So I'm the one getting all the messages and then sending them out. And again, if there's something important in the next 2 weeks, ladies and gentlemen, you will get it via Remind, and you will get it via email, because some people may not do the Remind. Again, the Remind is the best option to get emergency messages to me ASAP, because it becomes a text on my phone. I will have my phone in front of me during the entire experience on Tuesday and Wednesday from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. if necessary. My school is not competing, so I don't need to worry about that. I will be basically monitoring the situation from Tennessee for those 2 days, if anybody needs anything. Again, for the in-person people, the number one concern is to print everything this week and to be organized and ready to go for next week. For the online people, once you receive those Google forms, sending them to your students so that they're ready to go, and then being able to be ready to access the tests on the national website. Yes, Ms. Hood, I gave that out earlier in the meeting. I am emailing that information to everyone right after this meeting is over. So you will be getting the address to mail answer sheets and the remind information to set it up on your phone after this meeting is concluded. Are there any other questions from the online schools? That is an excellent question, Ms. Sanders. Jennifer, where exactly on the website will the tests be posted, and will the students have to have some kind of login to see them?
No login necessary. It's just going to be on probably the National Convention page or a page of the page, but I'll be sure to let you guys know. Like, for instance, in the chat block, I put in where they might be found or just need to determine the page. It might be a link on this link that I just sent you. But I'll be sure to let you guys know.
And I will be, that's one thing I can do as well during the 2 days, because again, I don't have any pressure from here. I can definitely look at the website and put it out in an email and remind that the tests are available online for the online people for each of the situations over the 2 days. Okay, any other, yes.
Yes, may I ask one more clarifying question? Do
Sure.
you mind if I share my screen?
Let me see, I gotta,
Oh, it's disabled. It's fine. It's just a question about the Scantron answer sheet. I just want to make sure I understand clearly.
let
So,
me bring that up for you so that everybody can see it together.
awesome. Thank you.
Because I am very familiar with this answer sheet.
Excellent.
We've used it for about 4 or 5 years in Florida. Again, the key for the students is dark, dark, dark with the bubbles.
Yes, I wrote that down. That's that. I
And
think that would be awesome for them.
okay, go ahead.
Okay, so my question is, the options, the multiple choice options are A, B, C, D, and then E is the NOTA.
That's correct.
And then I just want to be, did I hear you say that the bubble that is not marked A, B, C, D, or E, that is the sixth bubble, is for if they darkened in a bubble earlier, but then they tried to erase it and they just want to say, actually, I really meant to leave this answer blank. Do they ever fill in that sixth bubble or not?
Only if they have the concern, because of course, when a student follows directions and does number 1 is D and bubbles it really, really dark,
Yes.
and then they come back a half an hour later and they're like, oh, I didn't want to put D. I want to leave it blank. They don't have to erase the D. They just have to fill in that sixth bubble. Now,
Okay. So the sixth bubble trumps any other bubble they filled out.
that's correct.
So if
That's
they can
correct.
either leave it blank, or if they didn't answer, they can fill in the sixth bubble. Okay.
They shouldn't use that last bubble unless absolutely necessary. That's a basically emergency situation only. Now, of
Okay.
course, the concern for the student, say number 1 was D and they messed up. Okay, now it's C. Unfortunately, they've got to erase the D and put the C as best they can.
Right.
So
Okay.
students are aware with the Scantron situation. But again, what we want to emphasize, because we don't want to say to the student, okay, just lightly bubble through the whole thing, and then at the end you can darkly bubble and be okay, because you know time might run out, and then we don't want to have that kind of situation. So it's definitely a situation where the student needs to be confident in their answer, but sometimes they change their mind. So if they change their mind and want to just have the overall situation be blank, it's easier to fill in that last bubble than to have to do all this erasure stuff. But if they want to change their letter to another letter of the alphabet in that line, then they're going to have to erase the best they can and put in that new letter.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. There was a question about scoring. With national scoring, the scoring system is 5 points if you get it correct, 1 point if you leave it blank, 0 points if you get it wrong. So it's a 5-1-0 system. 5 for correct, 1 for blank, 0 for incorrect. And that's for the 4 tests they take with this answer sheet that you're seeing. Topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, individual. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, are there any questions in any way about anything? Again, immediately after this meeting is over, I will be emailing the group, the remind information, and the address where in-person schools will be mailing their answer sheets. If you don't get that information within the next, it's 10 to 3. If you don't get it by 3:15 on your email, shoot me an email and I will send it to you. Any questions, ladies and gentlemen? Did you mention about how to copy the answer sheets? I did not. The concern with the copying situation, of course, ladies and gentlemen, is depending on the quality of your printer or copier. If your copier has streaks, and we as teachers all have seen copiers with streaks. If you have a copier that streaks, then you may not want to use it to do the answer sheets. You may want to use a good printer, because obviously the answer sheets are the most important thing for your students in those 2 days. So I have used a printer in my past. I've used a copy machine in my past for these answer sheets, and both have worked just fine. But we all know that sometimes printer mishaps happen, copier mishaps happen. And if you're aware of that with your equipment, then you just want to use some equipment that provides good quality copies for your students. Your student ID number should not be longer than the blanks on the answer sheet. Everyone's number should be 9 digits long. And those are under ID. So let me share my screen again. So this is the shared drive that you received. One of them says IDs. And so, for example, Mr. Stowers and I love each other. I'm going to go to Lincoln. And Lincoln pops up slowly, the world of Tennessee internet. And these are the ID numbers for Lincoln High. Now, nobody write them down because only Mr. Stowers students are going to use them. But each is 9 digits long. And so every school has ID numbers on this system that are 9 digits long. And there are 9 boxes on the answer sheet. I did not mention that, Dr. Santos. Thank you for reminding me. Ladies and gentlemen, ciphering and bold should be copied double-sided. And the reason for that, on the front of the question, it will say alpha question number 1, and then the back of that piece of paper will be question number 1. The student just needs to flip over the paper to get to work. If you copy them single-sided, then of course, question number 1 will be one piece of paper, and then the next piece of paper would be the actual question number 1. So for those of you who haven't printed yet, ciphering and bold, you want to print those double-sided, so it's easy for the student to just have the title on the top of the paper, flip it over, and the question is on the back of the paper. Again, if you printed them already, then you just need to have your students be very careful because, of course, you don't want to rip too many pieces of paper. You would just rip one, and then the question would be right below it. Ladies and gentlemen, any general questions? If anyone has any questions about anything, do not wait. Please email me. Send me a remind in the next 2 weeks. I will get back to you as soon as I can. Either I'll have the answer for you or I will respond with, I'm looking into it. And once I get the answer, I will let you know. Do not wait to ask questions. I'm here to answer your questions to make it as smooth as possible in the next couple of weeks. So if there are no other questions, ladies and gentlemen, everyone, thank you for coming. Enjoy your summer afternoon. Get printing, get to printing in-person schools. And I look forward to a good week next week.